AI plus data science year in review. So just a couple of polls, just to make sure that you're living. We want to make sure that you're not robots or AI agents sent here to infiltrate our business or our user group. I really, really hope you get this one right. Someone's hopeful. Spring is coming, don't worry. All right. Next up, how did you hear about this group? Awesome. So this is just some housekeeping stuff. We want to dive into your personal information, get to know you a little bit better. What you guys are currently doing. Are you a student or are you an academic professional? Nice. All right, so now let's get into some trivia. Can anyone tell what I used to generate this image? It's really bad at you doing words and letters and stuff. Yeah, this was a ChatGPT generated image. It's not horrible, but alrighty. So recently, as in 2 days ago, Google made an announcement. There was a new virtual personal assistant that they announced. And the question is, what is it called? Nice, Gemini 2, good job. That is correct. Oh boy. Is that you, Dan? That's not you?
I got it right, but I guess not fast.
Not fast enough. There's Daniel in here that's doing well. All right, number 2. Who was named Time CEO of the Year for 2024 for leading a major semiconductor company's success? Did not put the companies down there. Tried to make it harder for you. Lisa Su, AMD. You guys believe it? Most people thought it was NVIDIA.
Yeah.
All right. Pratik, nice. Which language model did OpenAI launch recently, noted for its advanced reasoning capabilities? Some of these are really easy, and some of these are not easy, and I did that on purpose. So stupid, dumb stupid. Alan Singleton's not here, so he can't protect me. Yes, it's 01. Very nice. Daniel's back up out top there. All right, next. What is the name of Google DeepMind's AI weather prediction model? They just recently released it. Let's think of what fun, interesting names Google might have used to come up with this thing.
Easier if it was Apple.
Yeah.
iWeather.
It would have been iWeather for sure. That's right, GenCast. All right. Moving up in the rankings. Which company launched the Trainium 2 AI chip late this year? of these you may just have to guess. That's all right. Pick your favorite color. It was Amazon. AWS. Ooh. Someone's been disrupted from the leaderboard. Which data processing tool, known for its speed and parallel processing capabilities, released version 1.0 in July of this year? Parallel processing. It was polars. Interesting. That was a pretty even one. Has anyone here used polars before? Or at all? Yeah? All right. Jake's moving up. There we go. All right, which programming language is projected to become the most popular next year? What are we thinking? Is it Rust? Maybe Python? What about C++? Come on. There we go. It is Python. Yeah, and technically, this one was meant to be misleading because it's technically already the most popular language. So, sorry about that. Not sorry. Jake's on fire. Whoa. All right. Meta introduced a language model for segmenting anything in images and videos. What do we think? What do we think? There's no llama up there. That's right. So that's
there is no.
Any guesses? Wow. Sam too. That's right. It's actually meant. It's an acronym for Segment Anything Model 2. All right, now Microsoft gets a turn. They designed one to run locally on smartphones. I guess, do you have to have a Windows phone only for that? They have given up on that one. It's 5-3. Good job. Ooh, this is tough. All right, which ML model framework was the most popular for deep learning in 2024?
For so many of these, what's my instinct?
Just use your gut. Use your gut. Gut reaction. We got this, people. PyTorch. That's right. We were close though. TensorFlow was the most popular for machine learning, but not for deep learning. So that one was a trick question. All right, which model is not a part of the Claude 3 model family? This is one of those negatives. This is not a part of Claude 3's model family. I noticed they really wanted to do, Opus, Haiku, Sonnet, and I was like, maybe Requiem sounds like a Claude-related thing, but yeah, Requiem was not a part of their model family. Ooh, this has been fun to see all of the ups and downs.
Last question, this is it.
This is it for all the marbles. Which model, introduced by Google, aims to interpret real-world surroundings through a smartphone camera? This one's a tough one. I think Jacob's feeling confident. Nope. Never mind, never mind. It may just be which is your favorite shape. Project Astra. All right, great job. So let's see. The podium. We've got number 3, Bilbo. Who's that? Who's Bilbo? Yeah, you get a prize. And then Jacob and Dan. Whoa! Congratulations, guys. Come on up here.
Let me get your prizes. They're all the same, so technically
There's no difference between first, second, and third place in this game.
Let's see if this, okay, we finished trivia. Okay, we're gonna move to the 2024 look back. We're gonna start with actually a year ago, before our groups had merged, our data science group, we did predictions for this year. So we're gonna look at our predictions and see how accurate we were. Now those predictions weren't actually us. It was that we found on the internet what people said were gonna happen in 2024. So we'll look at that. Then we'll look at a couple just general trends from some resources. Then we'll have a discussion about what we thought was the big movers this year in the area of data and AI. So this is what we predicted last December, or talked about these predictions, that AI wearables will begin to replace smartphones. AI pins, smart glasses, pendant, and more. Anyone in this room regularly use a wearable? Okay, Brad's the only one. This prediction has not come true yet.
But does a watch count?
No.
Oh, never mind.
I think it's glasses and some type of like VR, AR. Bring your own AI to work becomes the default mode of work. Personalized AI bots, AI-infused software, and even the struggle of how organizations work with privacy and security. I do think, I don't know if it's become that customized, but how many of you, in your, whatever you're doing in school or in work, use ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude on a weekly basis? Raise your hand. Okay, I think that's grown in the last year. I think a year ago it might have been a third to a half. So I think it's becoming more normalized in our workflow to integrate AI software. So I don't think we've gotten these personalized bots that are very niche specific in terms of verticals, but it's moving towards that.
Can we ask and see who here has built their own personalized bot?
Yeah, good question.
Dan? Yes?
As part of training,
Okay.
of course.
Do you use it every day?
Yep.
Nice.
This prediction is that there are more options for building out an organization's Gen AI strategy. Yeah, I think open source models have gotten very mature, right, which has enabled a lot of things from startups, even big companies to leverage that. And we have a slide that shows kind of the landscape in the data and AI world that'll talk about these foundation models. I'm not sure, institution, because actually Jake is here, might be on the spot, but I know this is something that I think companies are figuring out. What does it mean to integrate generative AI into their company's offerings or even their infrastructure? And I still think that's in its infancy. Like, I think companies are figuring out what that means. I think a lot of people are just reusing the ChatGPTs of the world, but not really customizing it yet. So I think that still is to come. OpenAI, artificial general intelligence. Now, was there some claims recently that the O1 model is AGI? Is that, I thought I saw some people connecting that it's close to AGI. I think we're not, I don't think we're there yet in terms of what people are really saying is AGI or superintelligence, but it's certainly moving towards that. Is that something that ChatGPT claimed with their O1?
There were rumors that their O1 model was going to be
In AGI, exactly.
that AGI type, but
Yeah.
it's more intelligent, but
Yeah, it's still not there.
still not there.
Humans still run the world, so that's good. The robots haven't taken over. This is probably, I think, a more quantitative way. Yeah. So this comes from, and we'll look at that resource and predictions for this year. This is the State of AI report. It's actually very thorough. If you just search for State of AI report, every year they come out, I think usually in October, November, just with a very deep analysis of what's happening across research, industry, politics, safety, and predictions in the world of AI. So we used this resource last year to look at the predictions. So these predictions were made in October of 2023 of what was going to happen the next year, and then they graded themselves this year of their predictions. So some of them came true. The notion of Hollywood using generative AI. Now they've noted it started to happen with Netflix and HBO. Even if you guys are familiar with, or if you've heard about this Coca-Cola Christmas commercial, that was all using generative AI. Now, I think they said it's happened, but it's largely badly. So it's not maybe at the same quality, but it is starting to happen. A couple other things that they predicted is that there'd be issues with the Microsoft OpenAI deal and competition grounds. Yeah, that happened. They said limited progress on global AI governance. I think that is certainly the case. I think national entities are still figuring out what does it mean to have any type of regulation or governance around AI models. I think there's been discussions and best practices, but nothing official. And AI generated song, that was an interesting prediction, and this did happen, at least in Germany. There was an AI generated song called Heart on My Sleeve that made it to number 27 in Germany. Anyone familiar with that song? Okay, never mind, but apparently it did hit number 27. And it talked about how there would be acquisitions around an inference-focused AI chip company. There's certainly a lot of momentum around different companies trying to build their own silicon, right? I think given the dominance of NVIDIA and just some supply chain constraints and limiting just what people can do, they're like, hey, we should just build our own. So I know there's talks of Sam Altman raising money for this for OpenAI, but I know a lot of the big US companies are doing this as well. So some of the things that were not correct, they talked about a generative AI media company being investigated during the 2024 US election circuit. I think that was a little bit, I was maybe a little surprised. I really thought the notion of deepfakes or other things would really be disruptive this election cycle, given the maturity of that technology in the last few years. And so I guess it was a little bit refreshing that didn't surface. Self-improving AI agents across state-of-the-art in a complex environment. So this hasn't happened. This notion of an AI agent not just being able to accomplish a task, but actually improving in a more general capability, I don't think that's happened. I mean, there's still standard reinforcement learning techniques of like winning a video game, but not a self-improving open domain. Tech IPO markets have not on thought yet. There haven't been a lot of IPOs or even major acquisitions, but that might change in 2025. Gen AI scaling sees a group spend $1 billion to train a single large-scale model. So this says, no, it is interesting, if you look at what Elon Musk has spent with XAI and Grok, and the number of GPUs he's bought, it's getting close to, certainly I would say tens if not hundreds of millions of dollars, maybe not a billion. Okay, so that was a summary of predictions. I want to look at a few trend slides quick and then we'll have some discussion. This is, you're not expected to read everything here. This is a lot of detail. What this is pointing out is just the proliferated infrastructure when it comes to data and AI. The thing highlighted in yellow is the foundation model. This is really the pieces, some open source, some proprietary, of what is happening around the world, of these models that then we're building different application spaces on. So again, this is infrastructure. This isn't even the applications that we're doing with data and AI, but this is just a look at infrastructure. So it talks about the monitoring layer, model development and training, different frameworks and software for that, data and storage capabilities, then the foundation models, and then where you can do compute. So there's a lot going on, and it'll be interesting to see if there's some consolidation in the next few years in some of these areas. Okay, I went through that quickly, but we have this slide too. So this is the summary from the State of AI report of,
Hey, Matt.
yeah.
Will you back up this slide? Thank you.
I'm taking a picture of that.
Thank you.
So this was their summary of key trends. We talked about a few of these. On the research side, there's different, in the notion of building a generative model, OpenAI is still, it's hard to measure exactly, but they still seem to be the leader. And certainly O1 recently has established that. I think different ways, you evaluate these models in different ways, so it's hard to tell who's exactly the leader, but certainly in terms of like branding and market adoption, ChatGPT and their models seem to be ahead. Industry-wise, yeah, NVIDIA certainly still is very influential in terms of their GPUs being relied on for all the major generative models that are being built. There are startups that are having traction in video and audio generations in the industry. No, I think there still is this notion of pricing and sustainability. What does it mean to actually have a market for different types of generative capabilities? Right? If you can generate audio, video, text, what are people willing to pay for that? Right? How general does it have to be for somebody to get a subscription? Is it a subscription model? What's going to be? Or is it going to be like an app you pay once? I think that's still being figured out. Right now, I think the common thing is a subscription, right? For all the big models, you just pay a monthly fee. But will it be task-based as well? Maybe if you want to make a generative video for a certain use case, you just pay $5 one-time fee to generate the video. Yep.
I think also that we're seeing a lot of confusion around what it costs to run these models. And with a lot of startups that are just offering it for free or discounted pricing and ending up running it expensive simply because they just want to get users. So it's kind of interesting. Like that pricing model goes both ways. People aren't sure what they're ending up having to pay, and people aren't sure what they're ending up having to pay.
Yeah.
On both sides.
Well, I think when you talk about the valuation, because this next one is about $9 million in valuation, we talk about these foundational models, like that is probably more of the capital expense, right? Just training one of those large open, whether they're open source or not, just one of these large foundation models. And then the actual inference is more of an operational cost, right? Because once you have that, it's a smaller cost to do the inference. And so that's going to be interesting, just how that plays out in the market of, if it ends up being, there's big companies that have these proprietary foundation models that they license to smaller companies who then just have the operational cost of inference, or how that works. We already talked about some regulation, is that there's advancements, but I don't think there's any global governance. So energy has also come, just the notion of compute requirements, and what does that mean for physical constraints with scaling and emission targets. A couple of things around safety here. So a lot of trends, but I do want to get to discussion now. So I want to take, if you could just in your tables discuss for about 5 minutes or so, just when you look back at the last year, we talked about stuff here, and so you can say maybe one of the things we talked about already is a key trend, but from your view, what you work on, what you're learning, what do you think was the key trend in the world of data and AI in 2024? So take about 5 minutes and then we'll move on. We'll talk a little bit about people's thoughts. Okay, I'd like to hear from different tables. What did you say? What was the most significant trend in 2024? Throughout the discussions. Okay, we're going to hear from this table.
Make it very specific.
I think the most significant trend I observed was this visual effects, like using generative AI for visual effects. Because countries like India, they also make movies, but it costs them a lot to have a very high VFX movies. That's why they are not able to achieve that. But with the use of generative AI, it might be a possibility that at low cost they can even make enhance their visual effects in their movies. Hollywood movies, we already see, they are already really good, very highly visually delightful movies. And obviously they have money, but in India it's they can't achieve that because they feel the return on investment that they'll get after for the box office collection, that won't be much. That's why they don't make very highly visually delightful movies, because they don't have money for that. But I think using generative AI would be very helpful in achieving that.
Okay, thanks. Other trends?
I think we discussed that we looked at different LLM models that getting integrated with your business workflows, and how for different types of business workflows, you don't have to separately open a tab for ChatGPT. People have integrated it with their API keys, and they are automating workflows in their businesses. Is a key trend that we see. And also moving towards more fine-tuning for their use case, like multi-agent LLMs, and every agent will be for different use case, and then using those to make their automation better. I think that's also
Yeah, so we're starting to see the integration of these generative AI capabilities. Okay, good. Other thoughts?
We are using for our LLM, we are using Llama 3.2. We are using it, but you know, the challenges we are having now is the security, how we can, we want to integrate our data with the node of using the RAC, the retrieval augmented generations. So, but we still in discussions on how we're going to implement all of that, because, you know, the most concern now is the AI is about security. So you're going to use LLM model, you don't know if it's connected to the internet or not. We are trying to use our corporate data,
Yeah.
so we are working on that
Okay.
right now.
Interesting, yeah, so security and privacy come in the forefront. Over here.
I think we noticed in last year or this year, ChatGPT became daily life. I know a couple of friends ridiculously use, from my point of view, use the ChatGPT. One was he had an annual report, and he just asked the ChatGPT to do, and in a few minutes, and got it. And then another guy asked the ChatGPT to do his personal bio. That was then another a colleague of mine. He's Chinese and his English is not so great. Then he asked she asked the ChatGPT to answer all her emails, and that's really fascinating.
Yeah, I think I feel that too, that ChatGPT and similar applications have gone from novelty to actually functional, right? Even if there's maybe only a few use cases it's being used for, it's not just a novelty. Yep. Other trends? Any other trends anyone wants to mention?
It was similar, but like agentic and vertical AI seem to be two things that are to be big this year, I guess.
I suppose along that track, there's becoming more and more awareness of hallucinations, which I would caution your coworker in, like, there have been legal cases where lawyers try and ask ChatGPT to do stuff, and ChatGPT just starts hallucinating legal cases, and judges don't like that. So, some more awareness of the pitfalls, but I think we're going to get some more entertaining headlines from people asking ChatGPT to do things they really shouldn't.
That's fair. I think in the media, the things that go viral about AI are the hallucinations, right? The ridiculous answers or things that are made up. Yep.
So I was going to say that recently I saw this meme of ChatGPT like going down because too many people seem to be using it. And the funny part was, like, you know, around this time it's the finals, so it's like a student that was like complaining that ChatGPT's down there.
Using it for their final assignments?
Yeah.
What students are in the room? Any students? I mean, do you use like a ChatGPT like interface for homework assignments and, yeah, I would assume that's normal. Professors know that, yeah.
I just wanted to piggyback on what you're saying. I think that this year there's like a profound humanity in some of the answers where, you know, I've had interviews where I give it a website and a bio of a speaker and said, come up with these interview questions. And within a few seconds, you have a whole story arc to your 40 questions about how you're going to interview. And that's jaw dropping. Another time was, I gave 100 genes and categorized them correctly into, you know, coat color genes, eye genes. Like, there's so many things that were like, I've never had that before. So my trend is just profound humanity that's in it.
Yeah, it still seems like we're just starting this. So let's take time and move on to predictions, because I want to get a little discussion about what's coming in the next year plus. So looking ahead, these are predictions from the State of AI report that they made. They made these, I think, a month or so ago. And so I'll just briefly highlight a few of these, and I want tables to discuss kind of what would be their prediction for next year. The first one I think is interesting, a $10 billion investment from a sovereign state into a U.S. large AI lab. I think you could maybe guess which, you know, where that money could come from, but yeah, that would be interesting, right? When you start crossing sovereign boundaries for the criticality of AI infrastructure, what does that mean, right? Just from a political and security standpoint. Number two, I like as well, an app or website created solely by someone with no coding ability will go viral, which means it'll you know, someone will socialize the fact of like, I basically just told ChatGPT or similar to create an app or product for me, and it actually becomes very monetizable, right? That's coming very soon, right? A lot of people that are using it for writing code, someone could just start with no coding ability and come out with a product. Number 5 is interesting, open source alternative to OpenAI 01 surpasses it. There's a lot of great open source work being done in this space, and if the energy is there and the momentum, I think this could happen. Certainly OpenAI has a lead, but this could come to fruition. I'm good with number 6. I work for NVIDIA, so I will approve that prediction. Number 9, a research paper. This would be scary. A research paper generated by an AI scientist is accepted at a major ML conference or workshop. I mean, just take a step back and think about that, right? If you're in the academic world, and you think about what it means to get something published, right? The amount of effort, and what that means to have your name attached to that. If you start seeing that there's papers accepted to these prestigious conferences or journals or workshops or whatever, and a bot drafted all of that, right? Meaning that it has substantial enough results and techniques that were differentiated, novel, defensible, that they passed peer review. That seems far-fetched, but maybe maybe we're not.
I think it's gonna happen.
Yeah, okay.
Do you think it's already happening?
That's a good question, nobody even knows.
So I know that researchers have been using AI quite regularly
to assist in the
drafting their papers and stuff. That's been proven, and we can see that in the uptick of certain types of words that are happening in published papers. But I would not be surprised when all of the data science professors scream out loud when they realize that they just approved an AI-generated research project, paper, publication.
Yeah, because it'll make the headlines when this happens. Who the reviewers were, and what the conferences, and then, who was behind the AI. That's interesting. Okay, I just want to go through a few of those. I'll leave this up there, but we're going to talk about what do you think will be the most significant trends. I'll give you 5 more minutes to talk about. So if you're making a bold prediction, I don't want to hear just some loosey-goosey like, oh, OpenAI will have a good model next year. No, I want to hear bold predictions. You can use this for some motivation of what you think is going to happen in the next 12 months. Okay, 5 minutes. Okay, let's go back together. Let's come back together. I want to hear some bold predictions. Raise your hand if you or your table has a bold prediction for 2025. What's going to happen? Okay. Thanks for being bold. Be first.
I guess an AI-generated video lecture where for the smaller kids, they have an option to choose their favorite character to teach them in their video lecture.
Like an interactive educational kids. Yeah, that's actually a good product position. Yeah, that's good survey. You got one, Brad?
I think we're going to see a company try to monetize a true personal virtual assistant. So some sort of agentive AI that can do things for you. And sadly, it will probably be built on OpenAI, but I would like to see it open sourced. That's my perspective.
Other predictions?
I mean, both medical field and science. But I think my prediction is the AI will take a big, huge role to make medical diagnosis. Because medicine is like experience medicine. And then the more you practice, the more patients you see, the more cases you deal with, the more you may correct the diagnosis. But now AI can connect collectively the whole human, the whole world knowledge, and then we ask AI to make a diagnosis. I think that might be the future for medicine.
Okay, medical AI. Other predictions?
It's kind of an alternative to the number test, but maybe OpenAI surpasses its O1, makes a new model and combines it with its current multimodal, like more images, video, every different type, and make it reasoning based, something like that.
So multimodal, advanced reasoning, so, yeah, getting closer to AGI. Okay. Other predictions?
Slightly sci-fi type, but I think depending on how prevalent the agentic AI models become, we might get kind of illusion of free will from AI, like independent from human behind it. So collaboration, like multiple agent collaboration, and we'll see actions from bots that seemingly no human initiated. So,
Okay, way to scare yourself, by coordinating everything out. Other predictions? Okay.
I think we're going to get an AI content creator that has its own crypto wallet that rivals Mr. Beast.
Combining a few things there. Any other predictions? So my prediction is that there will be a product, a robotic product that becomes mass adopted next year. I'm not sure what the use case will be, but there will be some form of a robot that, I'm not sure if it's like domestic use case, a household chore, but I think that's coming sooner than we think.
You mean better than the Roomba?
It's not a real, I mean, I think closer to humanoid, even though they predicted that they said investment in humans will travel. I think we're actually getting a lot. I think we're making advancements. And someone's going to put together the product and the application piece together with the technology. Okay, we're out of time. Thank you all for being part of this meetup group. Hope you all have a great holidays. We'll be back maybe in January. We might take January off. Now we'll be back in February for sure. So stay tuned. We'll post on the Research Park in the meetup on what we're doing. So thank you all.